I'm here with Tyler Jones, head coach of the Cougar men's basketball team. And today we are looking back at the season finale last Wednesday, and a good one it was for the Cougars. They defeat Dominican by a final score of 80-74. And Tyler, before we get into some specific performances from that game, you and I were talking a few minutes ago, and that game, I mean, any rivalry game is fun, but that was just a good, fun, clean, crisp game to watch. I mean, two teams just went out there, played real entertaining style of ball, and it was just some great basketball.
Yeah, it really was worth the price of admission. You had two teams letting it all hang out. You had scoring, you had runs, you had an ebb and flow, you had perimeter play, you had play at the rim. It was an exciting game. I think it was a one-point game at halftime, a couple of different runs by each team in the second half, and some clutch free throw shooting and some timely baskets down the stretch for us to pull out the victory.
All right, let's talk about a couple people that brought about that win, and we have to start with senior Brandon Stinson. Saved, I thought, one of his best performances of the season for this last game. Came very close to a triple-double. He had 13 rebounds and 10 assists, and as it turned out, when we looked at the stats the next morning, Brandon finished in second place in the regular season in conference in assists, just one behind one of Aurora's players, and that's going to be a very hard guy to replace for next year.
Yeah, he will be. Brandon was a guy that contributed in several areas. As a team captain, he was one of our leaders. He was one of our better rebounders. He was our top assist guy. And he really took a little bit of a step backward for the good of the team. And his scoring took a hit this year, trying to get guys like Kylan Anderson involved, trying to get younger players like Adam Geiger and Patrick Phillip involved. Brandon's scoring took a hit, but he continued to play elsewhere. He continued to solidify us off the backboard. He continued to solidify us as a playmaker. And again, his stats speak for themselves, being one of only one of very few guys to accumulate over 200 assists in back-to-back seasons. Just speaks for the tremendous job that he did leading our team.
All right, you mentioned Kylan Anderson, and certainly he had a good scoring night for the Cougars, and just what a first year he had for us. From the first game of the season to the last, just a guy you could always go to in clutch situations. He's always willing to take the big shot in the game, and look forward to having him back in that lineup next year.
Oh yeah, we'll be glad to have Kylan for his senior year. But yeah, he came in with a guy that had loads of talent and just needed to polish up his game a little bit. He had come in from a junior college situation, and a lot of times the flow in those junior college games are a little bit more up and down, not as much structure. And Kylan learned a lot this year. He learned how to be a basketball player within the confines of a team structure. And that was Kylan's biggest challenge, because from an athletic standpoint and from an ability standpoint, he's head and shoulders above a lot of guys and a lot of talent in our league. He just needs to harness it. And I thought that playing alongside Mike Walmer, playing alongside Brandon Stinson, he was able to really sharpen up his game. And he had one heck of a season for us. And again, looking forward for his senior year as a Cougar.
All right, and let's talk for a moment about one of your freshmen. I think we discussed him briefly last week, but Adam Geiger. Adam finished the season with his biggest game of the year, 15 points, I believe it was. And a big percentage of that in the second half. He hit a couple big threes in that game. And it was certainly fun to see his development, especially maybe the last month of the season. And again, there's going to be a big piece of the puzzle, I guess you might say, for next season.
Well, we recruited Adam to be a stretch four. I think that he is possibly one of the best perimeter shooters at any position in our league, and it'll get better with confidence with Adam. He's a kid that likes taking the big shots. He's a kid that has terrific range, and how we used him this year, it was beneficial for him to play on the outside as much as it was for us to put him in on the block. And he was very comfortable, shoots over defenses, and has untapped potential. He can be as good as he wants to be, provided he continues to work hard.
All right. With the win over Dominican, the Cougars did finish a one-game improvement over last season. You are losing 5 seniors. One of those is a starter, of course, Stinson. So you do have a big nucleus of your team back for next year, and I'm sure that you and your coaching staff have already started doing all the planning in that for next season. But what do you think are some of the things we can look for from next year's edition of the Cougar Men?
Well, we need to replace our strength at the wing position with Brandon Stinson, and we're addressing it right now. We've got a good crop of candidates that can come in and give us the offensive lift that Brandon provided, more so his junior year, but certainly some shooting. The game has evolved where you've got to learn how to live behind that three-point line. The game continues to showcase good perimeter shooting, and we're addressing that in all levels of our recruitment. And certainly size. Size matters in this league. We will have the services of Shane Murray, who was sidelined with an injury for the season, but he's the biggest guy on our roster, and I know he's excited to get back in it. And you always need a point guard. You always need somebody that can direct your troops, somebody that can facilitate, somebody that can get you organized and run your sets. So from that standpoint, we find more shooting. We're looking for a bona fide point guard to come in and be an apprentice to both Walmer and Kylan Anderson, and some bigs to come in and help solidify us up front.
All right. Tyler, I'd like to thank you for your time, not only this afternoon, but throughout the season. And wish you and your coaching staff a great off season, and look forward to talking to you again next November when that ball goes up for the first game.
All right, and I as well look forward to getting back at it next season and giving you some good information moving into 2015-16. Thank you.